Welcome to the Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. If you're hearing us for the first time, welcome. We're actually a spinoff from a group that's on Facebook called the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. I know we didn't go crazy with the naming there, but it makes it easy to find.
I want you to maintain that type of talking the whole time.
Challenge me. Challenge in. I'm in.
Do you know, like, when you listen to the news?
Yeah.
And they're like, and tonight on this big segment, things happen. But if you talk to somebody like that, you'd be like,
I know. Good thing I'm only talking to you on this one.
Hello. Welcome. More on Sugar Cookie Marketing Group tonight at 7.
Well, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we are going to have a topic, nugget, and know-how for your ear holes. That's what we always do. But I also wanted to jump in real quick. This podcast is run by the sponsors. Without the sponsors, we would not be here. But I have an update to our sponsors, and you're going to want to know about it. Let me tell you. The Backers Co., who has sponsored us since the beginning of time, I think.
The beginning of time.
Since the beginning of the podcast, pretty much. I think they've been around for quite some time. But the Backers Co. has always offered 20% off. But they've come to the table, and they said, you know what? The price of eggs are pricing. They are ever going up. So we wanted to help the bakers out, and we're going to give them 25% off. So starting today onward, it's 25% off using the code SugarCookie at checkout. Now the Backers Co. is backdrops in a 23 by 23 inch form.
Or larger.
Or larger. They do have larger, but the base is 20. It transforms your home. So instead of seeing your crusty, dusty granite countertop with all the crumbs.
Don't you call my granite countertop crusty, dusty. He's been through a lot.
You can transform your photos, and photos really stop the scroll and get you more sales. So that the Backers Co. is really looking out for the bakers out there in the community. Amazing.
It makes a load of difference.
It does.
The quality of the output of your photography.
It does.
Photography for you people who don't like photography.
Yeah.
And that makes a massive difference in your bottom line because our clients buy with their eyes.
They do. So using the code SugarCookie saves you now 25% off. Plus, she asked me to say this on the podcast, on April 1st, 9 a.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Scratch and Dent sale. Okay, Scratch and Dent sale means you get their backers, and the scratches are very minimal. I have partaken in the Scratch and Dent sale, so I can speak from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
25% off the Scratch and Dent sale?
No, Scratch and Dent sale is 50% off.
50?
50% off. You can't combine, so you can't use any code with that. But 50% off for the Scratch and Dent sale. Here's the thing. No returns. Sales are final. It's going to have a scratch. It's going to have a dent on it. But that's why you're getting it for 50% off.
So you got 12 hours.
You save 50%
off if you miss that, or if you are a queen who does not like no scratch, no dents.
Yes.
Dusty crusty ain't in your vocabulary. Then you would use code SugarCookie for
25% off. So the Scratch and Dent sale will have a button on their website that you'll click to, and it'll show you everything that's under the Scratch and Dent sale. So you don't have to go looking. But the button will only be clickable from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 50% off. No, can't combine with any other codes. All sales final.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. Usually it does not last that long.
No, they're going to sell out.
Yeah, I know.
But that's great. 50% off is very good.
So that was very, very nice. But we wanted to dive in today. It is market season.
The spring has sprung.
The spring is springing.
The spring has sprung. My car is about to be colored in a yellow layer of crusty dusty.
Yeah. I went on a walk yesterday.
This is walking season.
The film across the little lake.
The film is across my eyes and my nostrils because I have slight allergies.
But it tastes like market season, and market season is amazing for bakers. It's a great way to, one, jumpstart your business. If your brand spanking new, to get your name out there in a market is amazing. There's nothing like it.
Don't set sail across the Atlantic on your own when you can tack your ship onto the big boat.
Yeah, but there are some things to look out when choosing what market you want to be a part of.
I think the broad strokes markets are great for people who like doing things on the weekends.
Yeah.
The consistent thing. Now, I'm not cut from the cloth that says be somewhere every Saturday at a certain time all summer. Yeah. For some reason, I feel claustrophobic. I like to have my options and let the wind, much like Pocahontas, take me where it blows. What was the song?
Oh, we sang it in the car just the other day.
It was so funny. Corrie and I, we got the wind. Corrie and I, she's in my car and she was like, let me play DJ. So I was like, oh, here's my phone because it just pipes in through Spotify. But the car displays the song in the instrument panel.
Did not know that.
Right? I'm speeding and I'm also singing.
Did not know
So
that.
Corey's like, she's like stoked, and she's, when somebody's scrolling on Spotify, it's 5 years pass and they think it's 5 minutes. She's like, chooses Hercules. And I'm like, oh, that's a great song. And so she's like, what? We, hum along with it. Right? Then she picks another one. I was like, oh, Colors of the Wind, just a banger. Like that one's phenomenal. And she was like, oh. So I hum along with it. And the third one, it was like an obscure Hercules song. I was like, I love this song. Corey's like, you are just phenomenal.
I said, I didn't know you were such
guessing.
a Disney adult.
Like, she's like, you hear 2 notes and know what the song is, but I'm just reading it.
I said, I'm an idiot.
So anyways, jumping into market season. Now, you got to ask yourself, are you a market girly? Mm-hmm. Are you somebody who can be consistent with this? Because the worst thing you can do is sign up for market and then cancel.
I know.
Because you don't like it. So what this whole podcast, and Corey is very, very excited about this one, is to help you vet this before you jump in.
Yes.
So if you went through all these, I think we have 5 steps here. You know I'm
a farmer's market go-to kind of gal.
Corey is going to enter.
I love to
Ain't no cucumber safe. Ain't no tomato not going to be picked up and looked at.
I love to examine. I don't need any tomatoes right now.
I went to a farmer's. I'm not cut for farmers markets, even attending them. If me and a farmer lock eyes, I'm going to buy something. I don't care if it's rotten through. Mm-hmm. I felt bad.
That's why I love when it's a jam-packed farmer's market. There's too many eyes to lock in on, so I'm just a bag in the wind.
Before we jump into this, here's my question for you. I used to have to do vendor booths in regards to like service-based industries, and I still have PTSD from that. You do. But there's the theory that you make your booth so people can walk in, or there's a one where you bring your booth out so people passing by can stop by. Which one are you?
As a consumer, let me walk in towards you. I don't want you to be right at the forefront of it because that will shy me away. I just want to see what you got to offer first. Then I'll talk myself into buying something.
Now, I know this is very shopper specific. Do you want somebody to ask you if you need help, or would you like to approach them as you need? I know a lot of people actually like to be asked if they need assistance.
Let me approach you as I need.
Heck yeah. Okay, let's jump in to the number one. So it's farmers market season. Here's the things to look for if you're pre-planning going to market, and then we'll take you all the way to like I'm going to. So biggest one, this is a marketing podcast, you're not going to be surprised here, is the marketing itself.
Here's the thing. Farmers markets pop up in spring just like the flowers do. The problem is they're best laid plans of mice and men. Some are brand new, never been marketed, don't have a following, and you're taking a risk with your business being the first one there.
Right. What we don't want is to hook our trailer to the horse that's on his way to the glue factory.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you live in Lake Ridge, right? There's a Dale City Farmers Market, which is happening.
It's the number one around town.
And now there's the Tackett's Mill Farmers Market, which I think someone finally put it out of his misery.
Yeah, he has been on his way out for years.
Is he not dead yet?
I want to say he still has maybe 3 vendors.
3 vendors. Okay, so what we don't want, and this is why this is such an important question to start with, is we don't want to get locked into a market that has no value when there's a better market for us.
Here's the thing. We are getting into the markets because it's going to help our marketing. We don't need to be doing the marketing for ourselves and the marketing for another farmer's market as well.
Yeah, it'd be a little unfair to the baker who's been listening to this podcast and implemented all these great marketing tactics, and then the farmer's market's like, hey, could you bring more traffic? That's not the goal here. We want something that's already working well and we can grab onto it.
Yeah.
We don't want to make something that's not work well. Yes, you may be the superstar at that farmer's market of 3, but again, what's the value in it?
And if the ship is sinking, for you to put so much time and effort in something that is already on its way out, that is unfortunate, and it will put a bad taste of farmers markets in your mouth.
We have a lot of means of transportation. We got horses, buggies, boats, tugboats, Titanics.
Spring has sprung. Cruise ships.
We are moving. And much like this podcast, we're moving on. So a great way to see if the market is marketing is social media pages. Check out their social media. Mm-hmm. You may say, well, they don't have one. Right there. That's my first little red flag.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Why, in the world of online, why don't they have any social media? And they may have different. They may not be on Instagram, but big on Facebook, or maybe even do it on Nextdoor. We need a little something. Maybe have a newsletter. I need them to have a website. We need something.
It's good to know. It's indicative of how strong the market will be. If they're not marketed at all,
well, do what Corey and I say. If you're not marketing, you're dying, right?
Yeah.
So if they're not marketing, it would take them down a notch, and maybe I'd seek out someone that was marketing. Another way, and I have this actually in my second tab, but I'm going to move it up. Ask in a community group which markets people love the most.
Yeah.
That's from the mouth of babes.
Yes.
You're going to hear that they love this market and they're not going to mention this market. And you're going to be like, okay, this one, for some odd reason, people like it. Why reinvent the wheel and try to make people like it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're going to say, okay, community group. I am a vendor. I'm looking to go to a farmer's market. Which is your favorite? Or you can come in even more innocuous and say, hey, I'm looking to attend a farmer's market this weekend. Right. What are my must knows? Where should I go?
You'll see that the resounding name will be the Dale City Farmers Market, which is next to me, and the unresounding name will be Tackett's Mill. Tackett's Mill might charge you less of a booth price. And you might be like, but it's cheaper. Here's the
not
thing.
Always it may be cheaper, but the cost.
I know.
So so then we go to the second one. So do your market research. So first we said is a marketing. We want to see how involved the markets,
the organizers are. Yeah,
that would be great, because if they're communicative on social media, they're likely going to be communicative in email. So then next one, do your market research of your market. How long has this market been around?
Yeah.
Is it how often do you see it again recommended in community groups? I've never seen Tackett's Mill recommended. I've only seen people say don't go there, don't waste your time. So what we don't want, you may have the best 3 vendors in the world, but 3 vendors aren't going to suffice the trip. And we have a lot of traffic here, so it is asking people to do a lot. And then you have that Dale City. Ask when the market runs. We have a market here in Burke that runs on Wednesdays. That's an interesting strategy. It gets people who don't work. We get the older generation or stay-at-home moms, but we don't get families.
Yeah, but Saturday markets, you're getting the whole kit and caboodle.
What you're going to see with Saturday markets is going to be higher cost. So it does factor. At the end of the day, the best market in the world isn't always the answer.
Yeah.
Let's say you don't have a high capacity to be able to bake that much. Maybe the smaller market is the cheaper market. Maybe that's where your budget allows you. Just because it's not the biggest and the best doesn't mean it's an automatic nair.
Yes.
But if you were like, hey, I have high capacity, I want to make I want this to be a part of my bottom line, we're going to look for the biggest and the best.
Yes.
We're going to say, is the market growing or shrinking? Now, the Tackett's Mill Farmers Market at one time was a great market.
It was.
In the past couple of years, it's just really shrunk. I think the organizer might have moved away and is trying to do this remotely.
Yeah, it could be.
So is the market growing or shrinking? You can see that markets do reach a size capacity in which you get on these wait lists. Maybe too big, that may be too much to plan for. But if we have a market that every year gets smaller and smaller, a good sign not to get involved.
It's a good sign to know that, maybe the customer service with the organizers to the vendors isn't great.
If a business is shrinking, there's a reason why. If it is a really mean organizer, we don't necessarily want us attaching our trailer to that horse.
Right.
So I'm going to say small markets are fine. Small markets in their growth stage, even better. Markets that are in their dying stage, I would probably steer clear of.
Yeah.
Right. So again, we don't have to be the biggest and the best, but we don't want to do Tackett's Mill. Sorry, Tackett's Mill. Is there a lot of diversity in vendor options? So when I think of farmers market, and Corrie says this most important one is vegetable vendors.
Listen, if you get a good veggie vendor there, they are the ones that bring the people there. It just is what it is.
Yeah, so I think you got your foundational staples, the veggie vendors. Then we have the Burke Farmers Market is really popping off these years.
Yeah.
We have a pickle guy.
I love the pickle people.
Because it's such a shtick, it kind of becomes its own marketing.
Yeah. Another one to look for if they have a coffee vendor. We have a coffee drive-in. He drives in with his little coffee truck.
That is a good one.
That's a fantastic one because you're getting
food trucks. Sometimes I've seen this incorporation of food trucks in these. It's great because now we get the people staying and they're staying longer because they have this food option.
You get breakfast and lunch options. So you have a lot. Some provide seating, which seating keeps people there longer.
Seating is a rarity.
It really is.
I'm going to say look at parking.
Yeah.
There is. So the problem with the Burke Farmers Market is it was a small parking lot. They took over the commuter garage, which now allows for a ton more parking. If there is a max capacity of parking, because remember, the farmers market's already taken up the parking lot.
Dale City is max capacity.
So that is something to keep in mind. But we don't, that's the problem when you're too big.
Yeah.
When you're too big, you're
to fighting over spots there.
Yeah, and then we're driving people away. That's going to leave a bad taste in a few people's mouth. Again, a little out of the control of the vendors, just something to keep in mind as you're doing your market research. And I do really like that diversity in vendor options. Now, you're going to not see us say, is there any bakers there? I hope there are. If you haven't been there, no baker has come, might not be a great place for bakers. So if you see a baker there, it doesn't mean it's a no. It actually could mean it's a better yes. And we'll talk about that in a second. And then Corrie has, keep in mind that typically you want to bake for 20% of foot traffic. So we have a ton of people. You're going to think in your mind, if I just saw 100 people, I'd be baking around 20 units.
Yeah.
If this market sees 1,000 people, do I have the capability of baking 200 units?
The issue that I see most bakers that approach their first farmer's market, they said, I overbaked, I didn't sell that much. Look, I had to waste all this product or I had to give it away. And that can put a bad taste in your mouth.
I know you're going to jump ahead on we're going to go back to once we sign up.
Okay.
And I feel like that's going to be.
You did jump with the.
You have it here. You had it. Do your market research.
I needed it to be under Ask
it is also
organizer.
No, we actually have it preparing for the market. Okay. So let's just recap. So one, we're going to say is the marketing, because this is a marketing podcast. I think the world turns with marketing. Without it, people don't know things are for sale. It would be awesome if the social media pages featured vendors.
Oh, for sure. That'd be amazing.
Really cool. I have yet to see that myself. Yeah. Then number 2, do your market research. So before we even bring out our pen and checkbook, we're going to learn more about this market. So we have a couple in there. I do really like that community group recommending thing. Yes. It kind of narrows it. How long has that market been around? How do you see it recommended often? Is a market growing or shrinking? Is there a diverse amount of vendor options? And then you're going to say, could I handle how many people this market brings? Could I bake for that? Number 3, okay, we've narrowed it down. We found a market we're really interested in. It's time to engage the organizers.
Yeah.
Now, this is where you take that deep breath because money might be coming out of your pocket this one. So we're going to say, let's reach out to the market and ask these questions. You don't want to seem accusatory again. These market organizers have a lot of power.
They do.
And they can place, So how many bakers are vending? How many vegetable vendors you have? What does a vendor list look like?
Yeah.
See if we can get a vendor list.
Yeah.
Corrie made it a point, I have to agree with her on this, not to ask for exclusivity. It's not typically offered, and it limits a lot of options.
To pay for exclusivity, the price is high. Okay, at the end of the day, the organizers have one job. Fill the slots with vendors, fill the parking lot with people. For you to ask for exclusivity, that's a lot. And unless you're ready to pay the big bucks, I would stay away from questions like that and just ask, how many bakers do you think will be there? Are there anyone who specializes in macarons there?
Right. So kind of doing it from a more of a research aspect, like, hey, whatever they're not making, I think I want to fill in that
Absolutely.
gap. So I'd ask for a list of vendors and kind of do your research on the vendors as well. Again, are they marketing? Are they not? It's up to them. That one be awesome if everybody did. I don't see why you wouldn't, but hey, what do I know? How much does it cost? A big question. How much does it cost to vend there? Never are they free, right? Because they use that cost to kind of create themselves. But there's some that are very high priced and there's some that are more cost effective. Just because it's the biggest and the best, if that price does not fit your budget, doesn't mean stretch it. Yeah.
There's one that's popped off in Loudoun County. It has now 3 locations every single Saturday. You can buy packages from them, which lower the price.
Very nice.
You can go to their less visited ones and the price is lower. So there's a lot of options out there.
Now, Corrie and I live in a high cost of living area because there's so many people here. For us to get to Loudoun County is 50 minutes unless there's a car accident. It's 2 days.
I know.
Right. So we have a lot of options in smaller towns. Maybe you're looking at one, in which case you need to be very respectful to the organizers. You don't have a lot of options outside of that.
Right.
At no point should you ever be disrespectful to anybody. But what are your weather policies? Well, April showers.
Bring many flowers.
Right. So we don't necessarily, back to the boats. We want to know what the weather policy is. Is there a refund for that week or is the money absorbed?
Are you required to be there during bad weather? Because if you have to be there, you want to make sure that if you're doing sugar cookies, that icing isn't going to bleed.
That was a big issue I see. So come vendor market season, farmers market season, we get a lot of questions in the group about, hey, my cookies are individually wrapped, cello wrapped. It's so hot that the humidity is creating icing bleed. It's getting into these packages. So consider that. I think a lot of people end up bringing coolers to kind of keep the cookies cool, and we'll display them.
Cake pop people, chocolate people, that tends to melt. So there's ideas that you can have a cookie that's outside of a cello bag and they can request, hey, can I get that one? And then you bring one out that's covered.
I see a lot of vendor folks kind of move into drop cookies in addition to the sugar cookies to kind of diversify the options. I think it's a nice add-on sale. I'll buy this custom sugar cookie, but also get this drop cookie, eat it while you're sitting there. Corrie doesn't bake drop cookies. I love eating them.
I do love eating them. I hate baking them.
I would say, what are the booth requirements? So Corey's mentioned insurance here. Do they require the tent? Do they require the tables? Is that provided? Again, these are all just additional cost. Corey and I did that wedding expo. We had to provide the table. Yes, we
provided
did.
everything.
We had to provide. So then when you provide your table, you want to have the table cover. We had a backdrop. We didn't have to provide a tent. So again, these are just costs to factor in here. But I'll keep in mind, at the end of the day, it'd be awesome to come out the gate with everything perfectly branded. But you can add things in as you go along.
Absolutely. The cost to start up into the whole farmer's market is expensive because you think table, the thing to get the table here, all that, your branding, your tent, that is a lot of start.
The tables, if they provide the tents, and they may have a higher cost, it saves you in having one that just cost of carrying things, that mental load.
I know.
And then the cost of purchasing. So something to keep in mind. If you're like, well, I don't know how to set this up, just go to a farmer's market and find which booths you really like. Yeah. And say, I'd like to replicate this. This seemed inviting. Or there's a lot of people here. Why reinvent the wheel when we can just watch what our neighbors are doing?
The reason why you'll see most people have tents is because a summer shower rolls through.
Yes.
That is not something you want to be caught under.
Now, question on this one. I would ask if they allow samples. I find that most around vendor market season, samples do draw in a lot of people. When you're fighting for the mass that's moving kind of through a sample, a cookie, would you like a bite of this? You and I stopped and got sample chocolate.
We did. In Dale City Farmers Market, they have a sourdough from Burke, the Harvest Bread Co.
Loved it.
They always do samples over there. Right. Yeah.
So, I know some people are like, don't do samples. It's cutting into your bottom line, but samples are a great way to get people into your tent, to attract people over and to get them to taste the goods.
Yeah.
So again, talk about insurances because typically they do liability insurance.
They do.
They're pretty cheap, but I think you could get a standing policy. I know flip insurance is an option. There's a lot of those options for events, though.
Yeah.
Do you have, and this one Corey mentioned, I didn't know about this, a drop-in rate, meaning you can come one time. It's going to be a higher rate because you've not committed to it, but see if they have the option for you to do a test run.
If you've ever wondered, like our farmers markets, for me, I just don't know. Some markets have what's called a drop-in rate. You pay a little bit more than the vendors who are there all season long, but you can come in, you can sell, like especially if there's a big holiday, like we have 4th of July. That'd be a great time to come test it and see if it's something that you like and something that people respond to.
Yeah. Well, you're missing the whole spring market.
The whole spring market.
Maybe I do. Let's see if we drop in rate for pre-Easter market, like something before Easter.
Yeah.
I don't know, something to see if it's worth like if you're like, hey, I'm committed, I could do this. Let me do one dry run before I sign a contract.
Yeah.
Not every market will have that, but it might be a decent ask, even if a market hadn't thought of it. Like, hey, can I vend this 1 week? See if it's a good fit for us.
Sure.
And then what are your cancellation policies? Life changes. What you don't want is to sign up for the entire market season and then cancel on them and then ask for your money back.
Yeah.
Right?
The problem is it's putting the organizers in a tough spot. And what we don't want to do is burn a bridge.
Because the organizer has got a lot of power, right? Another question to ask is like, how are vendor spots awarded out? Like who is choosing where people stay? Yeah. Is it allocated? Is it first come, first serve? But what we don't want is to say, hey, we're here for the year. I'm canceling because I don't feel like doing this anymore. And now the market organizer is never going to let us back.
I know.
Which I've seen happen. It happens every year. We get somebody saying, well, I don't want to do this anymore. Or I decided I'm going to move. But I've signed this, but I want my money back.
Yeah.
Right. So see what that cancellation policy is.
Can't hurt to ask beforehand so that no love is lost.
Right. And I think these are all very fair questions to ask an organizer. Tip number 4. Really like this one. Contacting past vendors. No, from the mouth of babes to speak the truth, because nobody knows how it actually goes like somebody who's already paid for it, right? And disgruntled people tend to be squeaky wheels. So Corey had this one. I had this one. Dry walk the market. Like see who's there. Maybe grab a business card. I see a lot of business cards when I go there. And you could reach out. But Corey actually had this tip. I actually liked it better. Ask in a community group. Has anyone been a vendor at the Dale City Farmers Market? I'd love to ask you a few questions. Likely a lot of people will, I actually sell pickles. I've been there. Yeah. Or, hey, I used to be. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, you'll get a myriad of responses. People who are currently there who are happy. People who are new are still happy. Maybe people in the past who are no longer happy with it. And it's good to take all of those answers and make it into a way that can help you decide if it's the right market for you.
So we had these ones, ask past vendors these questions, but keep these questions open-ended for more honest responses. How do you feel about how the organizers manage the event? Again, how do you feel? Right?
How do you feel?
Do you like it? It's like a yes or no. But how do you feel about it? Like, do you think, do you feel it's moment? How many years have you vended here? And do you plan on returning long term? If someone's like, you'll pry it from my cold dead hands, that means they have a great experience with it.
Yeah.
If someone's like, it's hit or miss, I'm not sure. I wouldn't miss too much if I didn't come back. That's going to be indicative of maybe a stagnant market or a shrinking one. And I like this one. What 2 factors bring you back here year after year? And this is for somebody's like, pry it from my cold dead hands. Like, what are the 2 things that make you think this is the best one?
Yeah.
It would be awesome if a baker's like, I'll tell you everything. I'm a baker there too. Likely you're not going to get that. But even finding the pickle guy, finding the watermelon guy, finding the tomato man. We have our own tomato man here. Pry him from my cold dead hands.
Yes.
Number 5, last one, how to prep for the market.
So prepping for the market is probably finding a market, great. Now prepping for the market, we're like, oh, that's a total other beast about it. Here's the thing. As Heather said, you can add your marketing, your tent, your fancy little drop cloth to your market as it goes. That's a lot of cost up front. So if we can share the burden from week after week with our
run them, the
income,
less cost per use.
Absolutely. Asking other vendors where they got their drop cloths, their table covers from can help you.
Asking the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
a lot of people who've already been before, and they will help you kind of narrow what that is down.
Yeah.
This one Corrie brought up, themed treats you bake for the event that's coming. Now, this is a tricky one. Right now, we're on March 25th. We're less than 1 month from Easter, so my offerings would start bringing in Easter.
It would.
2 weeks out, it's going to be every sugar cookie is going to be a bunny.
Yeah.
So, you kind of allow the holidays to sell for you.
Themed treats do better than ambiguous treats. Instead of just royal icing sugar cookies that are a circle, we want to make sure that we're doing the Easter bunny as Easter is coming. Something floral for Mother's Day, Father's Day tie. And these are going to help you make those sales. Even if they're a one-off kid just wanting something, it's going to help bring the kids in. And the parents are like, oh, my dad, I have to go visit him next week for Father's Day. I'll grab a few for him.
One, it's super cute. It's easier to market. This is another one. Bake things that freeze well in case of bad weather or low sales that week. I like this one. Corey's trying to keep our ingredients cost low. Nothing like, what's it called when a product, not expired products, but so there's
End
some
of life.
product that is not producting anymore. But bake things that freeze well. So if you do have low attendance or it does get rained out, you're not out the cost of those cookies. You're like, well, now I got to throw them away.
Royal icing sugar cookies freeze very well. Sourdough can freeze. So there's a lot of things out there that you can freeze that you could bring back to the next market and make your money back. What you don't want to do is bake so much and it doesn't, chocolate things, great. Those last a long time, but things like cake, where you're like, oh, I did cake by the slice and now they're just getting stale as I go.
It's a rougher one.
I know.
It's a rough one. So things to consider. We do a poll in the group. It's always that the organizers say there's 5,000 people that are chosen.
Yeah.
How much do you bake? We find that on average, I do like the 20% thing, but when you're dealing with 5,000 people, it's not going to be that type of event. We find that people average between 150 units to 200 units.
Yes.
Whatever that means, however it's interpreted, it's hard to poll a group with such hey, have you done a vendor event? How much you baked for?
Here's the thing. You have to think about what is pulling people. Is it a carnival ride and vendors just happen to be there because
Farmers
people are there?
Is local buying stuff.
Yeah.
Carnivals or
one-off pop-ups,
fairs.
Where they are having me and Heather, the one we went to last year, they were having a runway fashion show was the main pool and we were the extras there. So we weren't necessarily the draw.
Right. So it's kind of you'll see something that's pulling in 5,000 people might not be farmers market specific.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind. 150 units, it's probably, you're going to get your sea legs, right? Back onto the boat. Mm-hmm. You're going to say, well, I baked too little or I baked too much. And then as you continue on that market, you're going to say, okay, I figured out how this works. This one, market it. You can market the market yourself, right? We don't want to do the marketing for them, but we want to do the marketing for ourselves. So I always like this one. Create a Facebook event on your page. You can make it recurring now. And then I'd call it this, your business at market name. Well, the reason why I do that is if you just create an event called the Farmers Market's Names, then people are going to think you're the farmer's market.
Right.
And they're going to ask you a lot of questions and they're going to get frustrated with you when you say, I don't know. I'm a cookie shop. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you're going to say cookie shop at Dale City Farmers Market. That means when people search Dale City Farmers Market, you'll show up But your name being at the front shows like, I'm just a vendor.
Yeah, but what you can do with events like that, and every event is a discussion portion. So you can showcase what you're bringing to the market that week before we even get there. Heather had a great one. Go live with your options. Go live at the market. Go live showing what the parking situation is. Hey, it's 9 a.m. We don't have a lot of people. There's tons of parking. So if you want to get the best and the brightest, show up right now. You have to put on your market cap.
Yes.
And take off your I'm embarrassed hat.
I think sometimes we think in terms of a farmer's market, like I'm just a vendor here. I don't need to market it. I think you should treat it like you're teaching a cookie class where you are the reason why people are showing up.
Right.
And if you don't try, they don't come. Like have that mentality and you're going to be like, hey guys, Corrie hates going live, but sometimes I'm like, hey, turn that bad boy on. Let's
I know. Here's the thing. Markets are great for getting your name out there and your brand out there. But what we want to do is cultivate that audience now. We don't want to just get it one and done and then we're forgotten about. We want them to come to our page, like it, and then get valuable content each and every week. What you're bringing, what the situation looks like, how many vendors are there. The Dale City Farmers Market runs all year long. During the winter, there's 5 core vendors there, but then it grows as the spring. So every time I see in the local community groups, how many vendors are at the Dale City Farmers Market this week? Because as the weather warms up, more and more come, but you could be bringing that information.
Talk about great content. One, you post to your stories, you post to your feed, you post as a reel, but like, hey guys, I'm going to walk the market for you. I'm here a little early. We got pickle guys setting up. We got watermelon. We got bakery. We got another bakery over here.
I want to also say, even though I've not vended at the Dale City Farmers Market, I've made plenty of videos about the Dale City Farmers Market. And boy, do those vendors, when I tag them, always reshare my post.
Talk about a great way.
That is cross-marketing, because if you're local and I'm local and I'm shouting you out, you could return the favor by sharing that post. And then we're both getting some zhuzh out of it.
Great share. And what a great partnership.
Mm-hmm.
Create your own. Okay, start promoting it right now. Include it as just like another one of your products. Like I said, treat it like a cookie class. I'm going to market my cookie class bucket. I'm going to market my farmer's market bucket. You're going to keep tapping that guy, and we're going to keep promoting it. And we're going to promote it all year, or as long as that we're attending that. And then we're going to tag the businesses that we can. If the farmers market has social media, which it should, because we did our research back there, we could even say, hey, social media person for the farmers market, what content would you love me to make for you guys?
Yeah.
And I'll post it to my page, just to kind of get the hype.
Remember,
behind every business is this crying social media person who just wishes somebody would make content and share it and tag them. Consider doing, and I really like this one. This is Corrie. She said, consider doing your weekly custom pickups at the farmers market. The cross promotion.
Nothing gets people into your booth than seeing other people at your booth.
I am a product of, if nobody's at the restaurant, I'm not going
to Heather's easily influenced. If someone is going somewhere, she will be going to that place.
And if I get somewhere and nobody's here, I don't want to be the only person holding the restaurant afloat.
Yes.
I don't want to be, like when a booth is sad.
It's sad booth.
And you're like, I can't go in there because I'll be the only one that'll have to buy something. Right. That's me. So when I see more people, I'm like, I'm free to go in there. Like Corrie said, she wants the IKEA vibe of, there's so many people, I'm not going to be singled out. But if I want something, I can buy it.
Here's a great thing. If you've been in business and now you're just approaching your farmers market era, you will already have people doing their weekly pickups with you. Instead of doing it Friday at your house, scooch it to Saturday at the market. One, I would love if I could pick up my thing from the farmers market, because I love going to farmers markets anyways. You could always make it an option upon pickup, on your order form. Would you like to pick up at my house on Friday or at the farmers market on Saturday? What we're trying to do is build this sense of, what am I missing out on? Why is everyone going over to the pie place?
What if we said, noodle wall stick.
Sure.
What have you said? If you pick at the farmers market, there's 10% off of anything at the farmers market. Remember, 10%, if we have a healthy pricing model and we're charging 15% profit, even at a 10% discount, we still make a 5% profit for individuals who wouldn't have been there otherwise, except for they're there to pick up. Now, and I liked Corrie's like the compulsion to quickly snag something when you're already at. It would be hard pressed to think I'm going to go to a farmer's market, get my cookies, and leave with nothing. I'm going to get something.
If my little bun is getting out of the car and going to a farmer's market, I will be buying something.
I will be coming back with a snack, a treacle, and a watermelon. Yeah. You will be doing that. So I really like that one because the farmer's market is so fun.
It is so fun.
And then people could come that weren't otherwise, and then you could get them to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Again, Corey and I said this, the Facebook Lives each week featuring the market vendors be our eyes and ears.
Yes.
Before I roll out of bed, I want to know. And then you can be like, hey guys, here's what the weather looks like today. I hate this.
You put it right next to the sound.
I want everyone to be annoyed with me. I've been trying to get back on my water game.
I need to get on my water game too. But farmers market can be great boon for your business. What you don't want to do is promise to be at a farmers market and then take on so many custom order requests that you're fighting for space in your day and you're not getting any sleep at night. You have got to be a dedicated farmers market person, and maybe customs take a backseat. Farmers market are great during the summer because customs are fewer and farther between. But you don't want to be like, well, I'm going to take all the customs and I'm going to do all the farmers market. Something's got to give.
Plan this. So you can do the throttling of customs, which is a great way to do it. Corey will do it by saying, I'm just booked for the month, right? She'll take on the orders that she wants. Rest assured, if you tell somebody you're booked, they're still going to try to get into your inbox. She can take those orders as she wants. Or you can tell people like, hey, I'm actually booked for your date. However, I'll have some Easter options at the farmer's market. They may be a perfect fit for what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Farmers markets can be great. They can be great for your business. You have got to know your numbers.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. Speaking on know your numbers.
Yeah.
I think you can get away with charging higher prices at a farmer's market. I'm conditioned to know that watermelon farmer's market is going to be a premium price. You're not, in our area at least, no one can go into a farmer's market thinking that they're getting a deal.
No, you go because you think it's farm to table.
You think it's the freshest, bestest.
Absolutely.
You're not saying like this is going to be cheaper than Safeway. Like this is going to be more expensive and for good reason. Yeah. These are supporting the local community. I really do like that, leaning into that kind of type marketing. Like, agriculture, that farm to table.
Small business.
Locality.
Fantastic
support
for that.
Local. So you kind of lean into that, and then you charge this premium because remember, indirect costs are higher here because we do have the cost of one, just the event setup, but the event itself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. So people were like, I don't charge any extra. You got to put on your marketing hat. You got to put on your marketing mindset. You need to be competitive. You need to be priced correctly. When you know your pricing, you've priced out the things that you need to be good at the market. So how you're going to outlay your booth and everything like that, the price of the market, insurances that you might need. And knowing that, you can confidently go into your market season and flourish. And that's our end goal, is to have you be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't do markets beforehand.
I would say the dry run, being the consumer yourself, going to the market, checking out the prices, buying some stuff, looking at the bread, looking at any of that baked type stuff and seeing what their margins are.
Yeah. I will buy from every baker there.
Corey's going to buy. Corey's going to treat all hers out.
To taste test. I love to treat myself. I'm not going to be like, oh, I hate so-and-so's thing. No, I'm going to eat it and be like, I think I really like that they did this, or I really like the way they packaged that, or this was a cute design. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to figure out what others are doing. That's smart business. Putting your blinders on, be like, I can't look at what they're doing. Come on. We're in business here. Bakery business.
You got to be pretty strategic. Some other vendors I've seen that have been pretty diverse, like draws, like a honey vendor, and they had a beehive there.
There's always a honey vendor.
I like them.
There's always going to be a honey vendor.
That's going to be a wild one. A florist.
Oh, I will buy a flower.
Yeah, you
Give me
did.
a flower.
That's how I was thinking about that.
They have a bratwurst maker.
Smart. Okay, that one.
The smell. Oh, my soul.
That's going to sell half the things.
Yoder's Dutch Delights makes fresh donuts.
Got the donuts.
And they dip them in the glaze in front of you. So when you get it in your hand, it's like dripping with the glaze. It's so good.
That probably smells amazing as well.
It smells delectable.
So these type of markets, and I know that we do have access to a lot of different businesses here, so maybe we get more. But I think that finding a market with this diversity is like, hey, like now you can feature a business and be like, hey, come to this honey guy.
I know. Then they have some random one. Like there's a knife sharpener, dude.
That's great. Crazy. Because the knife sharpener guys are hard to get a hold of.
They are, and he is there.
What I'm going to say, and Corrie mentioned this, and I guess I may have skipped over it, like make sure that the vendors are that farm to table option. Sometimes markets like let in multi-level marketing type companies, and I think that's kind of deteriorates the market a bit. Again, it's going to be specific to your market.
It
so
is.
Go taste it. Our home shows, what do you think they're supposed to be about homes? But they have now lended themselves to a lot of that multi-level marketing where they're great salespeople, but it kind of gets, that's not what you signed up for.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just something to keep in mind as you get into farmers market season, which could be a very fun option for people. Yeah. Now, would you sell DIY kits at a...
Absolutely. 1,000%.
I would also cross-market my cookie class.
Oh, for
at my
sure.
farmer's market.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. The way that you can freeze DIY kits, like the cookies in there and the icing in there, like it's not going to go bad like it would if the icing was on the cookie. So DIY kits are great, especially around holidays. Independence Day.
Well, you're
coming
already
up.
there. You're already making the
Yes.
set, right? You're already making the product for sale. You already have the just bake extra and make extra.
Yeah,
And put
the
them in the
singles do good. I would stay away from anything platter because platters have a higher price tag. You're thinking like a platter, it's probably consisting of 8 to 10 cookies. It's
platters, like when the market falls the day before the holiday.
Oh, that could be definitely.
I would say a
for
strategic
sure.
platter placement.
Yeah.
Again, your market's going to dictate a lot of how you're going to show up, right? And it may take some like, ooh, that wasn't it. Or, ooh, I should have had more of this. And then you're going to kind of get your rhythm and then it's going to flow.
Last year, or maybe the year before, we had done a podcast. I had gone through a farmer's market and told you the things I liked as a consumer and the things I did not like as a consumer. So maybe in the show notes, you can link back to that one so you can get a earful of what to look for and how to set it up, what people are looking for. You want things flat on the table. You want things up higher, things like that.
Hobby Lobby.
They
It's a great place to find those displays.
They have a display there at the Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, so that is farmers market. Just to recap again, one is marketing. Look at their social media, pour through that. If it goes stagnant when they're off season, that's fine. But as it pick back up, you can just go back a couple of years. Do your market research on the market. I really like asking that community group, what do you guys like to go? If you have multiple market options. Questions to ask the organizers. We're talking about cost policies, what's provided, what isn't provided, cancellation, things like that. Contacting past vendors from the mouth of babes. Hey, what brings you back here? How did you like this? What did you hate about it? Things like that. And then how to prep for that market. Themed treats as we're leading up to holidays. Again, there's a point I always see right now, like I'm 2 months away from the holiday. What do?
True.
And I say lean into the spring.
Yes.
Nothing a floral
spring
can't cover.
bugs, things like that.
Bake things that freeze well so you can plan if weather takes a left turn. Do your own marketing. Market it as if it's one of these products that you got to sell. This is a marketing podcast. Marketing makes the world go round. You could be a huge boon to that.
Yeah.
Farmers market yourself with the marketing. And then go live. Consider doing your weekly pickups there. Really make the market work for you. I don't think markets are, if you build it, they'll come. However, there's enough vendors there that sheer numbers kind of bolster it up, but you can water that a little bit.
Watch you make yourself so valuable to the organizers that they want you to come back.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh, that would be so
That's because you did really great marketing and drove foot traffic. You guys remember Google's product is a person searching on Google, right? So Google needs the website that pulls up first to be the best. The farmers market's product is other vendors. Yeah. Like they need the vendors to show up and the vendors need the customers, the foot traffic, right? Yeah. So if we can make this look healthy and great for the organizers could give us preference. It's hard not to be affectionate to someone who's helping you.
I know. Right? We're humans at the end of the day.
Listen, you scratch my back up. So kind of consider that. And I think the way that you're going to help these organizers is that, being a nice vendor showing up, but also this marketing component.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that wraps us up for the tip that we have today. Heather, what is the Cookie College, speaking of marketing?
When we just said market, this is how to do that.
Yeah.
It's all the strategies of marketing and business administration, like business adminning, which is gross because we start these companies. I had someone say today, they're like, we start these companies and I feel like I'm not baking, I'm doing everything else. 17 hats.
I know.
And some of them have cookies involved. So streamlining, making business work better. We're focusing on this year on classes on passive income, cookie classes. That's what the Cookie College is designed to be. It's designed to help guide you. It's a done with you type setup where you can take these courses. They're pre-recorded. You can take them at your own pace and implement things like creating a domain name and connecting it to a website.
Yeah. You're going to see tons of courses out there that are selling, here's how to start your bakery business. Here's my tip. You got to look for someone. Are they putting into practice what they are teaching? If they are not putting into practice what they're teaching, why are they teaching it to you? It's easy to say, do steps 1, 2, and 3. But unless you're seeing them utilize it themselves, how can they tell you that it's working?
I don't want to teach a cookie class. But Corey's like, get your butt up. Yeah. Because we're not going to be telling people how to teach cookie classes and not be teaching them.
Here's the thing. Us teaching cookie classes in the thick of COVID is different than us teaching cookie classes today. So the marketing I told you years ago is not going to be the same marketing that I tell you today. So we have to get our buns out of our own seats out there. And I do love teaching the cookie classes. I love working with the clients for the custom orders and things like that. It's always a learning curve. I am always learning something that I can bring to the table.
And when we turn around is we turn that, bring to the table and turn it into a course to work on. So I'm working on the Amazon storefront, which is something you can say. And we actually, when we teach a cookie class, I'll send out the link to our Amazon storefront. I'll be like, hey, a lot of the products you guys use today, here's where you can find them on Amazon. Now we have some people in the Cookie College who have started bringing those products and selling them in class at a higher margin than Amazon, but it's that instant, I just took this class. Yeah, Corrie and I had a class the other day. You know, I don't like giving up my scraps.
Heather does not.
Yeah, Heather Campbell Berkshire sent us some backups, so you're lucky. You're lucky.
Yeah, we needed them.
But Corrie, they were like, can we buy your scraps? Because we're going home to decorate these.
I know.
Again, we're going to recreate everything we just learned here. And I was like, no. And Corrie's like, give it to them. And they're like, yes, we want everything. And I hated it. But a lot of the Cookie College members have talked about it. And they're like, hey, I buy this pack of, $5 scribes. Like I get a pack of 20 for $5. And then I sell them at, $3, $4.
I know. And people want the option to be able to buy. They want to go and recreate. They're so excited after class that they want to go home and take everything they learned back home with them and really just do it. So providing that opportunity for them is going to, one, benefit them, but also benefit you.
Yeah, and it's just another, again, this passive. We're already selling out the cookie class. Might as well make some additional money. And even adding DIY kits. Corrie and I sell DIY kits along with the class ticket.
Yeah, fun.
Always just pads it. And we charge, we actually raised our prices this year again. When in Rome. We raised the prices on the DIY kits, and we've continued to sell out,
And I think, you know what, for me to be able to say, charge more for your classes and not teach classes, I cannot wrap my mind around that. So that's why I said, Corrie's Heather, we will be teaching classes.
Because Corrie's like, hey, send it up for vendors. Like, there's so much behind that. She's like, it'll be good for a class.
It'll be good for it.
That's what Corrie would be like, did this. And I'm like, why? And she'd be like, it'll be good for a class.
Yeah, I will say, though, every time I sign up and then the time comes, I feel very differently.
Some man on TikTok, because I downloaded it on Friday and uninstalled it on Sunday, he was like, when you signed up, that energy is still inside you.
Yeah.
Even though you don't want to go now. He said, you've got to see the energy will have a great story.
It is. It does. Yeah, it does. It does.
You know what he said? I stayed home my whole life and had a great time.
I know.
But you got to experience life.
Yeah.
Staying home is great.
The things that I sign up for when I have a good attitude are crazy.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to say yes to this. I'm going to hate it. Yeah. But I'm going to go because I'll like myself better for having gone.
Yeah, but if you want to master your online marketing and grow your bakery in 2025, the Cookie College is for you. If you want to stay stagnant and you say maybe next year or maybe this isn't for me, the Cookie College is not for you.
Yeah, I don't want you to sign up and then do nothing. And I definitely don't want you to not sign up and then wonder why nothing's changed. You didn't do anything. I was thinking about this the other day. Life shakes out exactly as what you output, you get back.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to act like
you always say to me, what you water will grow.
Right. So when somebody's like, well, we've done nothing and nothing's changed. I like that meme because it's so great. Like you implemented no changes and your business did not grow.
Right.
If you could create a business and it naturally grows, we'd never be able to enter a market because the people who were before us would be massive billionaires. So it's if you water it, it grows. Okay, how do you cost effectively do that? Like we're cottage bakers, like we don't have big budgets as these businesses that have
we don't have like millions in startup.
And that's why Corrie and I did the done with you because you're not doing it for you. I'd have to charge you more, and we're not going to make you do it by yourself. So this kind of done with you setup and the Cookie College and the private group and these courses all are like, hey, I got you.
Yeah.
Listen, pause me when you need to, but keep pressing play when you're ready to get this.
Yeah.
So that's the Cookie College. You can learn more about the Cookie College at thecookie.college.com. Mm-hmm. The new website for Sugar Cookie Marketing is up. It includes a lot of our free.
Heather has spent a lot of time designing the new website. She really had in mind what do bakers need to hear, need to know, where to go.
Maybe we should do a podcast on this. I was thinking like in terms of writing copy, right? We need copy. We need the words on a website. But it's easy to be like, I got to write something. Let me write superfluous
and more
pointlessness.
I know.
And I tell Corrie it's called the and more because you don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
And so I keep making Corrie read through this website. I'm like, hey, what can we trim here? What words, extraneous words don't need to be here? What words are just filler that could be replaced with something that actually gives somebody some actionable knowledge to do something with. So it'd be like, we help you with marketing and more. Okay. Or you say, hey, I can help you set up a newsletter and we can send that out quarterly. Which one is going to have more of an impact on my audience? Same with your bakery website is like, I bake cookies and more. I'm not going to be like, I'll take some Ann Moore's.
Right.
I'm going to say,
how much is that Ann Moore?
Cookies. I do cake pops, and I'm
Yes.
getting into sourdough. If you want any three of the, let me be the first door you knock on.
And here's the great thing about a website. It never has to be stagnant. If you do and more, you can say, hey, sourdough and brownies. Like, you can add to it.
If you had Ann Moore's or brownies, which one are you
I know. What's going to make you sell more? It's going
Yeah.
to be saying the word brownies.
Yeah, and it's kind of that, like, you know, and I've been baking for a long time. No, you know, sometimes people do that for a while because they're embarrassed. Like, I just got started 2 years ago. You got 2 years more.
2 years more than the person who's ordering from you.
Yes. So it'd be like, you know, I got started in 2022 and it has become my passion.
Yeah.
I now offer custom sugar cookies DIY kits. I'd even explain what that was. Do it at home kits.
Yeah.
And then you can even grab sourdough from me as I launch that aspect of my business.
I know. It's just great that you can always be adding to your business. It doesn't have to be stagnant. It can grow with you.
Right. So if you want to check out sugarcookiemarketing.com, I've also laid out all the free sources that we've offered people that have been kind of hard to find.
Noise.
Like I said, the website should be the 24/7 sales guide, the air traffic controller. Here's where that is. Here's where that is. And I think I'm doing a decent job. Not done yet. Working through it, but I'm happy with it, and it is live.
It's been nice.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live. I'll just touch on the cookie class kits. If you want to teach cookie classes, but you're
What
like,
are you
I'm not
making?
ready for the college, but I still want to teach classes. I just made the next
guys,
one.
my eyes and my ears have seen and heard. It is a Cinco de Mayo.
It's so cute.
You may be thinking, like, why that class? Because 3 years ago, we did the primary holidays.
We did.
Last year, we did the secondary holidays. So if there was 2 holidays within a month, we did the one that was less popular.
Yeah.
And it was like St. Patrick's Day instead of like Easter, which was the first year. And then this one, we're hitting all the gaps between those.
Yeah, the guests, and you don't know, like, there is a cult following for chips and salsa, and for getting the ladies together for a little marg and a little cookie decorating on Cinco de Mayo is so cute. Plus, you can turn it into a DIY kit and sell it that way.
But I also think you, like you said, like just a fun class.
It's super fun. When I was
Cinco de
making
Mayo
it, I said, "This is so much fun."
It is so fun. A little, is it chili pepper? What did this say?
We have a chili pepper. We have a sombrero. We have chips and cheese. Got a little queso one there. Which one else do we have? I just showed you last night. We have a what is it? The thing with the pit in the side.
Avocado? Did you just offend an avocado?
An avocado. We have an avocado. The last one, why is it failed from my brain? But it's cute, whatever it is. I cannot remember for the
Could you
life
call
of
the
me.
class? You don't have a margarita, do you?
It is not a mark, but I will look it up. It is a taco. A taco, a cactus, a pepper, chip and queso, and a sombrero, and a guac.
If you could have, let's say pretend somebody reached out for a private party and they decided, and they're having their girlfriends over.
Yeah.
You do margs and meringue.
Marks and meringue. That's
That's
adorable.
what we'll be calling it because there's no
I like
margarita.
that. Yeah, I like that.
How fun.
Digging
So the Cookie Class Kits is we offer 5 memberships. The Cookie College being the highest one, but the Cookie Class Kits is included in the Cookie College. However, Class Kits, cheaper. And you can get all the 2025 Class Kits. So if you signed up today, you would get that taco class.
Taco.
And you would get 4 other classes?
You get what?
4 other classes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you get all the classes from 2025. We also have the Baker's Business Basics, which includes a discount code if you want to sign up for the Cookie College. Someone did that over the weekend, and I was like, girl, you get it, girl. She signed up for the Baker's Business Basics, got that code, and then went right back to her membership settings and switched over to the Cookie College. Prorated discount and a discount on
Girl,
top
smart.
of that.
She's making 2025 work for her.
The digital downloads, which will be working on some DIY cookie care cards for Easter, and then the $2 transfer club, which is actually included on all those memberships as well. You'll never guess how much it costs.
$2.
3. Just kidding.
I was like, oh no.
The $2 transfer club for $3.50. So that is the Cookie College. Now moving on to our texting questions.
Yes.
I posted yesterday. I was like, hey, Corrie made fun of me. She was like, you got 4 texts last week.
I
and
did.
I was like,
I said I didn't have barely any numbers to choose
you're
from.
stupid. So I posted in the group, and if this isn't the marketing lesson of this week, I posted in the group and I was like, hey, text in for your chance to win a stupid card tray. Here's the phone number. We have 50 texts.
What?
50 texts.
You said 50?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 48, 47, 48, 49, 50. I'm sorry, 51, 52.
So we went from 4 to 52.
You know what? You got to remind your audience.
If there is a marketing lesson me and Heather can learn.
Yeah, Corrie and I are like, marketing's not set and forget it. You can't do it. I'm doing a farmer's market once and then never remind them.
You can't say,
like,
I'm doing my pop-up one
once.
time and then expect 100 people to show. It just does not work that way.
We just don't have the retention span for this much.
Okay, recount. My number is 37.
3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Oh, 37. 847 area code. What do you think it is?
847. I'm going to say Illinois.
Northeastern Illinois.
Whoever you are, number 37 Illinois, we are vibing.
Waukegan, Arlington Heights, Evanston, and Elgin.
Nice.
Oh, that's crazy.
Look at
that.
that.
Was wild. Did you just feel like it felt like
I felt like it was a northern little area code there.
Yeah, it was. What is the best option for capturing payments for classes to keep everything in order and digital? Laura. So Laura, email me, heather@sugarcookiemarket.com with the rest of your phone number. And I will set you up with Phil for a stupid card tray. If you didn't win today, you can always use the code SUGAR for 15% off Stackable. And I think they're having some sales coming up.
Nice. Laura, me and you, we're feeling the vibe. If you didn't know, me and Heather have offered classes for a number of years. The one thing that we do offer and where our tickets are held is Eventbrite. The reason why we like Eventbrite is because it's a search engine all in one. A lot of crafters and people who like to do meetups will go to Eventbrite to find local classes. Here's the thing, Eventbrite does take a fee out of each ticket that you sell. So it's not a free platform to use if you are selling classes, but it is a nice and organized way to offer classes. The reason why you can have a listing there, you can have all your classes listed there, the pricing in Eventbrite will actually do the email campaigns for you to remind people.
I had to set up our classes for this year. I allowed them to be able to self-cancel 7 days prior. So I don't have to process it myself.
See, and that is if you offer it on Square, you are going to have to be involved with that process, but you do get to keep all the money when you offer it for Square.
Okay, here is the cost. You can pass this cost on to the consumer, or you can absorb it yourself. Corrie and I absorb. It is 3.7%. This is Eventbrite's fee. Okay. 3.7% plus $1.79 per ticket. Okay, not the cheapest, right?
No, it's not.
No. And then there's a processing fee, which you pay on Square. Either regardless. Way, and it's 2.9% because I'm sure it's like Stripe. Yeah. And they all seem to be at 2.9%. So you can have the fees passed on to them, which means you keep your entire ticket sale, or you can absorb them yourself. Corrie and I absorb. I think it would be fine if we didn't. But 3.7% plus $1.79 per ticket goes to Eventbrite. Yeah. And then the 2.9% processing fee, which goes to the payment processor.
The way that me and Heather justify it is Eventbrite is searchable and it's promoting the events on the platform.
You can run now Eventbrite ads or Eventbrite ads on Facebook. You can push the event to Facebook and it automatically, you can do it yourself, but it automatically connects to Eventbrite.
The listings do look professional.
It allows, they have new features now. You can have a video in your listing. Nice. You can have endless amount of text in your listing. And then things that I do like is the email reminder. Ticketing. There's a lot of options with like choosing seats. Corrie and I don't do that, but you can. And then add-ons, the DIY kits. Right. Now the big asterisk there is, unfortunately, Eventbrite allows you to buy an add-on and not a class ticket, which we actually do sell some of, rarely, but on occasion we do. It's still money, right? So I just make sure to tell those people, just so you know, that it is a DIY kit. You'll pick it up during class. You just won't be attending.
Yes.
But again, you could use Square. There's some other options. Once you create an Eventbrite listing, you'll have a lot of these other e-ticket websites reaching out to you. They just don't have the user base like Eventbrite.
Yeah, they don't have the following that Eventbrite has established over the years.
So I do like that they're claiming that you reach 2 times more people just by listing it on Eventbrite.
And I think that people sign up. When you sign up with Eventbrite, you're signed up for their newsletters and they will pummel you.
Yes. They said in 2023, unique ticket buyers on Eventbrite were 93 million people. So
the thing is, it does rank high.
That marketplace does. That marketplace works. So that's why we do it. It's not bad. And I'd never tell someone, don't use Square. Yeah. And I tell people I'm lazy and that fee is worth it for me.
Yeah.
Can I just pick another random text to read? Not a winner, but you can text in again next week. 571-556-5644 and get entered to win a stupid card tray again, because we do this every week. I just think this is funny. He said, I don't have a question. I just want a stupid card tray. So again,
listen, I don't hate you. I ain't hate you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that entered that person to win. They could win again next week. Another question. How do I make the switch from Messenger direct message orders to a software designed or Google Forms? I have been in business for just a little over a year, and I'd love to streamline all the orders a bit and be more organized.
That's a fantastic question. Congratulating on growing your business. 1 year in is fantastic. Here's the thing. When you're switching from DMs into a form, your autoresponder needs to say, in order to start a order request, please fill out this form. Every time someone DMs you, even if they have placed orders in DMs in the past, you need to say, Shelly, thank you so much for this.
Why is it always
I love Shelly. She's always top of mind. Thank you so much, Shelly. If you wouldn't mind filling out this form, it'll keep me organized. And no matter what, you have to keep pushing the
Corrie
form.
Actually was lamenting this. Corey's like, I have it when somebody sends a direct message. It says, go to my form. And she's, booking out. And then she's like, we're gone on vacation some of these days. And she's like, people really just want to get around it. So they'll send me an email, which also tells them you've got to go to the form. So again, it's going to have kind of that little blend in. You're going to regret not taking from the form once you taste of the sweet nectar of what you can do with forms.
Oh, I know.
If you use a Google form, you're not going to be able to collect payment, but it puts it in a spreadsheet for you.
But isn't Google Forms free currently? So a great stepping stone if you're coming from DMs into a form, Google Forms is free. You can't take payment there, but you couldn't take payment really, I think, on Facebook DMs either.
No, I don't think that ever worked out for them.
I think they tried and maybe it didn't work out.
Facebook is like,
taste this, try this,
and
love
it never
like
tells
it.
you it got rid of it. It was just like,
it's gone.
That never happened. And then Corrie uses job forms sometimes, most of the time, right? So we were arguing yesterday. I read yesterday that relationships with arguments, as long as they're not
horrible,
as long as like disagreements, are healthier relationships, because a relationship with no arguments means somebody is brushing something under the rug.
Oh, good. We're not brushing one thing.
Close. So Corrie wanted to sell some DIY kits. We set it up on job forms. She was like, I'll just send them the invoice. I was like, not in 2025. We don't. We collect payment at checkout. So job form, I think, still allows for 10 paid submissions for free.
Oh, nice.
Right.
There was a question in the group. Okay, so per month, 10.
Which is our cookie class.
Okay, I know. If you know, sign up for the cookie class. Okay, so if you don't use the full 10, does that roll over?
No.
Okay, it doesn't roll over. If I delete prior submissions, does that give me 10 back?
No, you can't do that. I hope not. That'd be like job form. We're doing job form pricing. Let me just check it real quick. You can get monthly pricing. Let's just see. They change it constantly. They always run deals. So I'm going to look at the monthly, not paying yearly. There's a yearly discount. They're 20% off if you pay for the year. Starter plan, you get 5 forms. That's not 5 submissions. It's 5 different forms.
So you could have an Easter DIY kit form. You could have a class form. You could have an order form.
You can get 100 submissions.
For how much?
This is the free plan.
Oh, the free plan? Uh-huh. Oh, that's a fantastic way.
100 submissions. This does include money.
I know.
1 user.
Okay.
100 megabytes of space, meaning if they attached an image.
I see. It could be big, massive.
Okay. They limit how many people look at your form. 1,000. I mean, we're kind of...
Yeah.
If you're getting 3,000 views and no submission, you got to... okay, this is what you're saying. 500's total submission storage.
Okay, yes.
So there's a cap on what happened last month and the month before, right? 100 fields per form. If you're getting close to that, I got to talk to you. Okay, 10 monthly payment submissions.
I see. I see.
And then 10 monthly sign. And that's all free. Right?
I want to say, though, as you're growing your business, that's a nice stepping stone.
I would say, okay, Google Forms is going to be easier to fill out.
For
right?
sure.
It's going to be easier to set up. As you move along, job form free plan would be my next step. Mm-hmm. It would be nice to end up on a website. It would be nice to build up to getting to a website. But I think the job form free plan, payment taken at time of order,
that's going to get you more conversions. It really, truly is.
So bronze plan, just you guys, it's $39 a month, but if you pay for a yearly, it's $34. There is Jotform branding on the first one, and I hate the branding.
I know,
but if I like.
But I want to say, if you're thinking about Jotform, sign up for their newsletters. They are always offering a discount.
I would never pay full sticker price for Jotform. They run a sale when they fart.
Literally,
let's just put that. Did somebody fart? We're gonna put this on sale. So yeah, that's how Jotform pricing works. Great question. Let's do one last one.
Sure.
One last guy. I launched my first class, and I'll be doing it at my home. I plan to rent a venue in the future, but I was trying to see first if my customers would buy, and which they did. Do you have any tips for me? I hope I win the tray. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. So you didn't win the tray, but text in next week. This is also a great
Fantastic.
question.
And also, congratulations on your first class. That's awesome.
And I like what she did there. And I know some of you guys are screaming, you need to check with your homeowner's insurance policy, which she probably is. Yeah. So let's assume that she's checked with her homeowner policy or she has flip insurance. Add on for the single day. So we're insured. What I would do, I would say, how many people do you have coming? Smaller numbers. Do not be scared of small numbers.
Small numbers are fantastic.
For your first class. Love it. Absolutely. I'd encourage it, if not just for your first few classes.
Yeah.
Things that I wish Corrie and I knew with her first class that we didn't before. I wish, and we did do this, so I'm going to pass this along. Do a dry run with your family first. It just tells you, like, they're like, you guys
it helps you
fast.
fill in gaps that are maybe there's too many lulls. If you over talk at the beginning and like now the decorating part is very rushed, you only have, technically, if your eyes are set on a venue, venues have time frames that you have to stick to. Right. So you don't want, the longer your class goes, the less profit you're making. That's just how it works. So even though you're jiving, everyone's having a blast, you have got to have a cutoff time, because each minute over is taking away from your profits. Because even though we love the class attendees, got to get them out. There's got to be an expiration date to the class so you can walk away and know what your profits and your cost were.
Since you got it in your house, you get a little bit more flexibility, which is great. Things I probably wish I knew. Are you planning to decorate with them? There'll be some dead air there. I would practice if you can narrate while you decorate. Corrie does. I narrate for her because I'm doing nothing there. I mean, like, and so if you could practice, like, and almost record yourself. I know it's like the worst thing in the world. Be like, hey guys, what you're going to see me do now, I'm going to lay down the pipe. I'm going to draw it up, give myself some distance, let gravity do the work.
What Heather was talking about in the car when I was trying to give us like the music list, the playlist, and Heather's like, it's 5 years for the person sitting there waiting for you to put your playlist together. The same thing is for when the baker is decorating the cookie. It's like, you feel like it's 2 seconds long.
Let me tell you, the only thing longer than watching paint dry is watching paint dry. So what happens is you're like decorating, trying to show off to these people, but it's a lot of time is passing with dead air.
Yes.
So I try to always keep that energy up in the class. You're going to be like, if you're a one-man band or if you have a twin. Somebody messaged Paige last night, and she was like, me and my sister are twins. Just kidding. We're 60 and 65. We're just like you two, and we're going to teach our first grade class. So they signed up with the class kids yesterday. And I was like, you guys the only thing you're going to hate is that you didn't do it. So you're going to practice like, hey, with a camera. You're like, hey guys, what we're going to do is we're going to pipe this. You're going to see that I'm coming around here. Make this very dramatic because the icing separates. And then I like to add weird facts in. Now, it's easier for me because I'm doing nothing. Right. So be like, hey, this icing won't be fully dry until 48 hours. Or it's just merely crusting. We have about 30 seconds before it starts that kind of crusting process. So you want to use your scribe. Things like that. Right. Kind of keep that energy up.
That energy up and going.
So back to it, I would do a dry run with family. I'd record myself if I'm a one-man band, and I would very much focus on your room configuration. Yeah. Corrie and I find that around seating is what works for the venue. Yeah. And for us as well, because it forces everyone to look at each other, which we find creates icebreakers. Now, classroom seating has everyone facing forward. We're pretty conditioned in class not to talk to each other. Corrie and I want them to know each other. So another thing we do is an icebreaker, an icing breaker. I'm adding that to the next slide. And we go around and say, hey, what's your name? Where'd you roll out of bed from? And what's your experience with cookies today? And that kind of tells you what somebody's like, hey, I tried this and I really want it to be a hobby for me. It's not working. You know that they're going to be a little bit more intense. Yeah. And someone's like, hey, I'm just trying to kill time. This seems fun.
I know. Then you can kind of, what really brings a lot of, and since we live in the area that we live in, someone will be like, yeah, I'm from Southern Maryland, which
is a 3-hour drive.
Bay there. Drive. But then someone will be like, I grew up over there. Oh my goodness, do you know, blah?
My secret thing is I write down their names, how they sat, and I like to, like,
Trisha,
how do we feel like that one?
Shelly.
Shelly, you're here. You're always
here,
present.
Shelly.
Shelly, how did you feel like that one? Do you have any questions? And then sometimes and somebody will ask a question, be like, you know what? That's a great, Amber brought up a great point for everybody. And then again, we're just trying to keep that energy high.
Yes. You know what? The person's favorite word they've ever heard is their name.
You can't say it too much though, because then it's like you will listen to a podcast about
Amster, B, my girl B,
Amberlyn. What do we think, girlie? Yes, Amber. Yeah, so I think you got. Do not care how it went. Like, be honest with them. Be like, hey guys, this is my first class. I'm so excited. I can promise you it'll get better, but you guys are my guinea pigs and my besties. So any feedback you've got, I'd love to hear it.
Please be nice. Please be nice to me.
Moving on to our sponsors. Corey's mentioned AE Core Backers. Now the Backers Co.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Okay, all right.
Discount.
Eventually we'll have to let their old name go.
I can't. I know. Your form still said formerly the crumble.
No, I love that on there.
Yeah, I know.
Leave it on there.
We're still on there.
Love there.
So we'll never give it
Yes.
The Backers code 25% off using code Sugar Cookie.
Yes.
And check out.
Nice. Next up is Royal Batch. It is the meringue powder that I used.
I had my head the other day because I called it
Bakety
Bake. And she's like, not
yeah, it's a Royal Batch made by a company called Bakety Bake. And I know where it's confusing. If you're not the baking twin, you don't see the package all the time. I understand. But Royal Batch.
I asked this on the page. Do you pronounce meringue as meringue?
No, whatever you said is exactly how
That's
my
the only way to
meringue you eat.
Some lady, she had said that her husband had asked her if she needed him to pick up more of it at the grocery store, and this is how he pronounced it. It made me laugh out loud when she said, my husband pronounced it meringue.
It's a weird word.
She said, my husband pronounced it meringue years ago, and we called it nothing else ever since. Meringue. It was Christina.
All right, the meringue powder that you need is Royal Batch. Royal Batch actually is... I've used all of the meringue powders out there on the market. The one that I've always gone to for the past couple of years is this meringue called Royal Batch. Royal Batch has 3 main ingredients already in it that you would technically add to it, which is vanilla, corn syrup, and white food coloring. It whips up bright white. It is a pleasure to work with. Every time I work with it, I say thank you, Royal Batch, for allowing me the opportunity.
You say thank you, Bakety Bake, because then you'd be thanking
a brand. You can use code TWINS, save 10% off at checkout. You will not regret it. They also have these little 2-ounce bags that I will be bringing as my giftie to class.
Very nice.
Yes.
We're going to be teaching the cookie class kit from 2023.
We will. We
Easter.
shall. Yeah.
Hopping into Easter. Stupid Card Tray. Sponsor this podcast, sponsor of the stupid text question. Use code SUGAR at checkout for 15% off, and then text in again next week. If you texted in this week, text in again next week. You can even re-text in that same question and be entered to win a stupid card tray.
Unlike Jot Form, our forms and text do not roll over to the next week.
Yeah,
so you'll want to...
our text subscription doesn't roll over either. These are burning through our text subscription.
Give them Eduardo.
Eddie by Primera is a direct-to-food printer. Now, I read in the Eddie Printer Users group on Facebook that they'll have demos at CookieCon, which is in like an hour
today.
So they'll have demos, and you can watch that photo studio thing they just rolled out, which is an additional cost because it looks like they have a third-party software developer for it. But you can see that photo studio, which we talked about when we went to the wedding
Expo.
Vendor Expo,
yeah,
which was a nightmare. But we did that before the software came out. It would have been better if
I know. I
couldn't imagine doing that thing with just one of us.
No.
This software like counts down for you. It's like a second person is there.
Yeah, it's like someone there. So while you're busy trying to get the photo lined up,
that was the exact face I made when I was like, do we have it? Transfer, print, go team. Corey was like trying to talk to them. So you can check that out in person now. I would join their group, Eddie Printer Users group on Facebook, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the demos. Granted, you're going to get a lot of people asking for customer support. Don't let that spook you. They have a 1 hour, if you buy an Eddie new or used, they have a 1 hour session with their customer support. But here's the thing. I think you can still contact them. So it was funny. I saw in their group, someone was like, looks like somebody at 3 a.m. was doing a late night order and was unable to contact customer support. Customer support opens at 3:30 a.m. It was like some astronomical amount of time that customer support is available
they have
for you.
a fantastic customer support team over there.
So if you are at CookieCon or if you have that shopper's pass, you'll be able to see them in the vendor hall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, definitely check them out on their Facebook page. And I think we have a couple of YouTube videos about him as well.
Yeah, nice.
I know you're always posting about him.
I when I use him for an order, he does make an appearance.
He does.
Love him. Love him.
Eduardo. No discount code. He ain't cheap, but he is. Somebody had said, like, how quickly did it pay it back? And people are like, once you get the orders, you got to market. You got to market him. Once you get that, you're going to see that pay for itself and then some.
Yeah, nice. Do you have a Twinterest? A Twinterest. Something Twinteresting.
Okay, here's my question. It's not even Twinterest. I need help from the audience. I got this kitten. He decided yesterday to pee on the couch.
He did. Not the first time.
What? No. He decided 2 days ago to pee on the couch. I'm like, this is a one-hit wonder. No, last night. So you're like, we'll put something on that. No, I did. He pushed it off.
He did.
He's very little, but he did push it off. And then he peed there. Now I've got a million spiky thorns, I'll be honest. They're little spikes that you can get to keep animals from jumping on things. And I'm very worried that this is going to be a common recurrence.
I know.
And it
so
can't be.
Heather had a fancy dancy bath room.
The meow one from, you see it on TikTok a lot, but I bought it before it was on TikTok. Paid full price. It turns to clean itself. I wonder if he got caught in a cycle. I don't know if he got spooked by it. So I ran out last night and went to Walmart and got the
traditional
old rudimentary litter.
Yes.
And he used it. I'm waiting after this podcast to see what I'm walking into.
I know. So if you have any tips or tricks, I said she needs to take the couch cushion out of its little containery thing.
And wash that.
The couch cushion and that squishy part.
Yeah, I don't want him to think like this is just a big giant red potty. Like I want him to stop seeing it.
I know.
I know you guys are going to say, is he fixed? He's too little to get fixed. So
he's not fixed as of this moment, but we don't want to have
there's nothing to fix yet.
Yeah.
He's that little. So I don't know. Corrie came over today and she was like, wow, that's a lot. Goodbye. Not a lot of pee. I'm sorry, a lot of work. And it was a lot of pee last night.
My animals are all old. They know what is required of them. They know what I require of them.
With cats is like once they get a bad idea in their head, it's hard to break them up with it. So I'm really worried he's got a bad idea. The first one off. Second one, a trend.
I know.
Is that trend going to go up or is it going to go down?
I know.
So
I'm working on my curb appeal. I had my sidewalks pressure washed
by our cousin.
Yeah, and then my neighbor joined in on it, so now ours both look top of the town.
What else are you going to do?
I have contacted Freddie, my lawn guy, and we're doing aeration.
Nice.
Your yard needs to breathe, and he's taking out the old leaves.
Oh, that's great. I hate
spring cleaning, he said.
Leaf.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm trying to work on this.
Did you notice the bushes planted there?
No.
I want you to look over your shoulder.
I see nothing.
Can you stand up right here and look?
Is it a baby? I see a top of a leaf.
Okay. What do you think about it?
I don't know.
Can you just stand up and kind of look over my shoulder at it?
This is wild.
This is wild. This is your grandmother.
Face.
Ruth Ann found fake outdoor plants on Amazon and ordered them, and she is stoked that nobody notices that they're not real.
No one's near them.
Yeah, and she says it's the distance that makes them look real.
Wild. Mm-hmm. Wild. No, I will not be doing that.
But they'll never need pruning.
They will have
they never die
soon.
Listen, the spiders were living in the desolate area. She did that almost 2 months ago, so that's how much you missed it. You haven't noticed that they're fake.
Well, now I know. I will be bringing it up in a conversation.
She'll be stoked. She's very proud of it. But yeah, any more curb appeal?
Well, I put some grass seed down. Nice. Some old grass seed. And then I ordered from, I love Etsy. I do love Etsy. You know, I have those little bushes and they kind of surround the tree, but there's no color there. They don't bloom.
Yeah.
Little clay flowers with a stick and put them in there.
What's the difference between Ruth Ann's fake bush and your
Listen,
fake flower?
I'm supporting small business, not big box store like Amazon. Da-na-na.
That'll be fun.
We'll see.
That'll be fun. Post a picture of you should have done a before and after, but
I'm making a video. There is a before and after.
Corrie will make a video out of it. Corrie's actually making some really good content. She said she's going to start a short little series on
how to prep for a cookie class.
Yeah,
I've done it so much that I've gotten out of the thoughts of if someone's never done it.
So she's going to go find the cutters. She's going to go prep the dough, tell you how she preps that. I think you freeze it ahead of time.
I do.
And then just kind of roll it and cut it. How you do the icing. Definitely don't involve me in that part, please. And then how we set up for class.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll add in a part of my series the emails.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
I print.
Love to see that.
With my subscription that I don't want to use. I haven't printed a single paper. I don't want to mess up my papers.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, you can text in, call in, listen in. We're here. We love to hear you. We love when you hear us.
The funny part about posting these to YouTube is I can see when people check out, and it's right after the texting questions.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Thank you. You guys who stuck around, we'll see you next week. Please give me pee-pee pedal tips.